Stop. Stop reacting. Stop allowing the volatility of your internal world to sabotage your external progress. You are not your feelings. You are the observer of your feelings. Every moment you spend chasing comfort, avoiding discomfort, or desperately trying to control the uncontrollable is a moment of lost power. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming powerful. This is the definitive manual for mastering the distance between thought and reaction. It is time to reclaim your sovereignty. It is time to build an inner world that cannot be breached. It is time to learn the art of emotional detachment. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Control. Your feelings lie to you. Not sometimes, not occasionally, always. Your immediate emotional response is a relic. It is a biological survival mechanism designed for the jungle, not the boardroom. It is built for fight or flight, not for critical thinking. This mechanism does not care about your long-term success, your reputation, or your goals. It cares only about immediate comfort and immediate survival. That is the crucial distinction you must accept right now. When you feel that spike of instantaneous anger, that rush of defensive pride, or that collapse of sudden anxiety, that is the ancient brain taking the wheel. It is a signal. It is a frantic notification. It is not a mandate to act. Your feeling is a data point, not a dictator. The birthplace of freedom. The emotional gap. We must define the single most critical concept in this entire book, the emotional gap. The gap is the space. It is the milliseconds between the stimulus and your response. Someone criticizes your work. Stimulus. The hot rush of defensiveness begins. Initial feeling. The emotional gap is the moment before you open your mouth to argue. The moment before you smash your keyboard. The moment before you retreat into self-pity. This gap is the birthplace of all personal freedom. If the gap is zero, you are a machine. You are a puppet dancing on the strings of every fleeting impulse. If you can force that gap to 1 second, to 5 seconds, you have inserted choice. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Your job is to expand that gap through sheer quiet discipline. It's not about eliminating the feeling. That's the lie. It's about mastering the distance from the feeling. The repetitive lie of deep feeling. We have been conditioned to believe that strong emotion equals deep conviction. We praise the person who wears their heart on their sleeve. We romanticize the passionate outburst. This is a profound error. It's not about caring. It's about discipline. The stronger the feeling, the more distorted the perception. A strong feeling, anger, fear, jealousy, is like looking through a funhouse mirror. You think you see reality, but it is twisted, exaggerated, and false. If you are reacting with intense emotion, your judgment is compromised, period. You are not seeing the truth of the situation. You are seeing the truth of your insecurity. Stop allowing volume to be confused with value. The quiet, disciplined man who acts with clarity is the man who truly cares about the outcome. The loud, emotional man cares only about being heard. You don't need their permission to be calm. You don't need their permission to detach. Your feeling is a data point, not a dictator. Say it. Memorize it. Practical instruction. Label and release. How do you weaponize the emotional gap? How do you create distance when the fire is already lit? You use a core practice called label and release. It is simple, it is direct, it is ruthlessly effective. Step 1. Interruption. A car cuts you off in traffic. The initial feeling is rage. Do not drive. Do not react. Interrupt the flow. Take a deep physical breath. Step 2, labeling. Use your internal voice to name the emotion precisely and clinically. Do not say, I am angry. Say, this is anger. Say, this is insecurity. Say, this is fear of insignificance. When you name it, you place a cage around it. You objectify it. You move from being the emotion's victim to being its analyst. That's the key. Step 3, release. Once label, acknowledge its presence and immediately turn your attention to the next correct action. You don't solve the anger, you solve the task. The social media comment stings, interruption, label. This is insecurity reacting to criticism. Release. Close the app, turn your focus back to the productive work that actually matters. The colleague dismisses your idea. Interruption. Label. This is pride demanding validation. Release. Ask a clarifying question about their concern, keeping your tone neutral and analytical. The goal is not to eliminate the spike. The goal is to eliminate the action that follows the spike. You have a choice. Use the label to reinforce that choice. You don't need their permission to be objective. It's not about being cold. It's about being powerful. It's not about flaw. It's about discipline. Your feeling is a data point, not a dictator. Mastering this distance is the first step towards genuine sovereignty. You stop being a slave to the moment and become the master of your mind. You have now broken the automatic link between stimulus and reaction. You mastered your initial emotional spike. Now we must address the root cause of why those spikes happen in the first place, the desperate need for external approval. Chapter 2. Stop seeking validation. The silent cost of needing approval. Welcome to the root of your emotional volatility, the deep insecurity, the underlying need that drives every defensive argument, every over-explanation, and every paralysis of action. You are addicted to validation. Your self-worth is currently tethered to external opinions. You have given everyone around you, your critics, your family, your social media audience, the remote control to your emotional state. They press a button and you react. They offer praise, you soar. They offer criticism, you collapse. This is not emotional control. This is emotional slavery. The cost of seeking approval is silent but catastrophic. You trade your autonomy for temporary comfort. You sacrifice your long-term vision to avoid the short-term discomfort of being misunderstood. You have a choice: live by your own rules or be managed by the shifting, fickle moods of others. The tyranny of external maintenance. We must brutally dissect the transactional nature of seeking validation. It's not enough to earn approval once. External validation requires external maintenance. You must continuously perform. You must constantly adjust your behavior, your clothes, your opinions, and your goals to match the moving target of what others deem acceptable. This is exhausting. This is unsustainable. This is the definition of distraction. Look at the real-world proof. How many people choose catastrophic careers because it satisfied their parents? How many stay in dead-end relationships because they fear the social narrative of being alone? They made catastrophic life choices purely to please an external audience. They allowed the opinion of others to become a mandate. It's not about being selfish. It's about discipline. The discipline to protect your unique path. When you live for the applause of the crowd always dictates the performance. You don't need their permission to prioritize your future. The problem of the empty reservoir. Every time you seek validation, you empty your internal reservoir of self-trust. You signal to your subconscious that you are incapable of judging your own value. You tell yourself, I need an outside witness to confirm my existence. This is why you feel emotionally attached to outcomes. You are not attached to the project, you are attached to the praise the project might generate. You are not attached to the relationship, you are attached to the status the relationship confers. That's the key. Detachment is the act of valuing the process more than the praise. Your feeling is a data point, not a dictator. And the data point of seeking approval is always screaming insecurity. You have a choice. You can stop outsourcing your self-worth. The detachment tool, the internal scorecard. You must shift the metric of success immediately, completely. The detachment tool we introduce now is the internal scorecard. This is a non-negotiable mental contract you sign with yourself. The only metric that matters is whether you kept the promise you made to yourself today. Did you promise to work for 2 focused hours? Did you keep it? Score 10, 10. Did you promise yourself you would not check your ex-partner's social media? Did you keep it? 10, 10. Did you promise to stick to your disciplined diet regardless of what your colleagues ate? Did you keep it? 10, 10. The moment you use the internal scorecard, the opinions of others become irrelevant noise. Their praise cannot inflate your score. Their criticism cannot lower it. You own the metrics. The approval of 1,000,000 strangers is meaningless if your internal scorecard is at 0. The disapproval of one envious critic is irrelevant if your internal scorecard is 100. This is the bedrock of true self-reliance. You don't need their permission to define success. Implementation, the daily audit. Every day, you must conduct a quick audit of your emotional spikes. When did I feel most defensive today? When did I feel the most need to explain myself? When did I feel the most elated by a casual compliment? In every instance, the answer points directly back to a desire for external validation. Your instruction is simple. When you feel the need to explain yourself, stop talking. When you feel the urge to check the comments, close the app. When you feel the flush of pride from praise, return to your work. It's not about hiding, it's about discipline. The discipline to let your results speak for themselves. The discipline to work in silence and let the outcome be the validation. This shift moves you from being an emotional beggar, dependent on the scraps of attention, to an emotional sovereign, secure in your own execution. The only audience that matters is the future you. The future you depends on the promises you keep to yourself right now. Stop looking outward for permission. Start looking inward for commitment. You have solidified your self-worth by cutting the cord of external approval. Now, we move to the practical technique that anchors your mind in the present moment, creating an unshakable inner calm.